Well, good afternoon. I hope you had a lovely bank holiday weekend. It was a little crazy for us, but we absolutely had a fab time, I've got to say. So I hope that there's been lots of photos and pictures being posted because, as we well know, I'm still not on Facebook. But not to worry at all. I'm sure it'll get sorted. But in the meantime, tiles go on, and here we are for number 237. My goodness me. Doesn't time fly? I think I was only going to do 12. So many different things happened since then, of course. Different coloured tiles we've got now, and different pens and pencils, all sorts of things. So here we go then. Are we ready? I've got one of these lovely sort of tealy green. This is very peacocky bluey green, and I'm going to go with that one. And again, I wondered whether to use a black pen or a white pen. I thought I'm going to use a white for a change. But, you know, whatever you want to do is absolutely fine. Still have my pencil in because I want to do a little bit of construction at some point. But other than that, I think we're good to go. I do have my white chalky pencil, of course. And I've got my tortillon. And I do have in the wings, okay, a few more bits and pieces. I've got a couple of metallics. There we go. To show you there the better. A silver and like a gunmetal kind of colour as well. So we'll see if we need them a bit later. Okay. Hey, Leslie, are you still up there in the clouds or are you back down at the hotel now? So, yeah, you're having a better holiday than I was going to. So, not to worry. Are we ready then? I think the first thing I'm going to do, I want to put a bit of a border in. So, I just grab myself another little tile here. And again, just going to line it up so I can put this border in. Now, I'm just going to check that my pen is good and up and running. Here we go. There we are. Sometimes you have to sort of kick these off because with them being gel, they tend to dry a little bit. And if you've not used them for a while, you need to go a little bit slower with them. And then, of course, if you're not careful, you could easily sort of splodge them a little bit. And there we go. Not bad. We turn it round and do the same again. So I'm just going to line it up. For those of you that don't know, of course, and if you've been trying to message me, I was hacked on Facebook on the 28th of April, and Facebook blocked me for 72 hours, so I put some dodgy photos up. But in the meantime, the person who hacked me has been uploading videos and adding friends and taking money out my account, you know, the general stuff. So, of course, I've got the bank account sorted, but I can't get into Facebook or Messenger, so if you've sent me a message, do apologise, but I can't answer. And today, of course, we're on John's phone, so yeah, not to worry, it will get sorted, I'm sure. Okay, so there's my border. See a bit there? Don't worry about that. You can actually scratch a little bit of it off, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to use a little bit of white pencil to sort that out later. Now, I don't want to come from the middle, so, you know, if you want to mark the middle just so you can sort of see where you're working from with a pencil. And what I'd like to do is I want to create a curve, not from the middle. I'll go a bit bigger so you can see it. There we go. So maybe, I don't know, maybe about a centimetre-ish in. And same that side. Sometimes it helps to just put a little mark so you can see where you're headed. And what I'm going to do is create a curve there. There we go. From one to the other. Okay. So while I'm in that frame, I'm going to do a second one quite close. So we're creating a little aura there. And then another one a little bit wider across there. Okay. So let's turn it round and look at the next one. So see, I've gone about a centimetre from there. And same from there. Okay. I say about, don't worry if it's not the same. And sort of do a guess first, a sort of a dry run. So you can then create your curve. Doesn't feel as scary then, does it, doing that way? And then a nice thin aura along here. And then a slightly wider one along there. Okay. So let's turn it again. And I'm going to put a mark here and a mark here. So again, curve. There we go. A nice sort of thin layer. Hang on a second. Yeah, thin layer. And then a little bit wider. And then on the next side. So again, putting my marks, it just helps, I think, to give you an idea where you're going to and from. So first this one, then my narrow one, and then one that's slightly wider. Okay, so let's have a look at these little points in the corner. I'm going to bring in a little bubble there, and then a loop on the top. And then I'm going to draw these loops down one side and then down the other. So you might get 4 in, you might only get 2 in. It really doesn't matter. You've got to look at the space you have and you make the decision there whether you're going to go slightly wider and have a few more, sorry, a few less, or thinner and have a few more. There we go. Sort of a little window there, isn't it? Same on this one. Little bubble first, a loop on the top, and then a couple either side. There we are. And then a couple here. So we were all due for a little bit of a break this week. I think we were heading up there to Whitby for a few quiet days so I could get some design work done. So we packed the car up yesterday and put the boys in the back. Darby was going with us. We got there and to find there's no Wi-Fi. And so we rang the company and said, "Look, there's no Wi-Fi here. There was when we booked it." And they went, "Oh, no, there's never been Wi-Fi." So we're like, "Well, how can we work without Wi-Fi? How can I do my lives without Wi-Fi?" And they're like, "There isn't any." So we put everything back in the car and came home. so I'm going to work from home for the next few days. Never mind. Okay, you can see here I've put some sort of little lines, a bit like a chevron-y kind of design. If you want to put a little pencil line in to start with, just to give you a guide, that's fine. But I'm going to go freehand. And then I want to add these little curves in, joining one to the next. Nice and small, no rush with this. Nice, okay. And then I want to add in the chevrons again, going back that way. You see, following from that line there. And then I'll do those so it looks like we've got the extra one. Okay. So this time on this side, if I just bring it in a bit, there you go. Because my chevrons went this way, I'm going to create these ones going this way. And again, don't worry about the angle too much. You just want to get a few in there, not all the way to the edge, you see. There you go. And a little curved line, joining those together wherever you can. And then from this side, I'm going to put those lines going the other way. Let's see, I'm going to put one where it looks like it's finished there. Okay, look at that. So let's turn it round. So it doesn't matter which way we go. See, the chevrons went this way, so I'm going to go this way. So just working them down that shape. And a little curve on the end. Just joining them together there. There we go. And then this way, I'm going to create those diagonal lines going that way. And the next one. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Gosh. Okay. Into that next one. So you can make these as wide or as narrow as you like. As few or as many. Those little curves on the end. One at a time. And then this way, we're going to put the chevrons in that way. See, that's going to probably have another one there, see? Okay, so we've got that kind of shape going on there. All right, so far so good. Okay, so I'm going to put one in the middle. I'm going to sort of gauge the middle. Again, if you want to sort of measure it out and think, well, this is about my middle, you can put a pencil mark just so you get the idea, but you don't have to. What I'm going to do is create a bit of say a rectangle shape, not too big, but I want to curve the lines. So it's more like a little pillow shape rather than a straight rectangle. There we go. So we're getting these little points on the end. Okay. There you go. I'm going to do a really little one on the inside there. Just a little one. Let's just fill that in. There we go. Okay. So working around the outside of this now, let's go a little bit larger. Let's do a little aura. Only a fine one. Not too much at all there. Just taking my time again. And of course you've got to go a bit slower with these gel pens anyway. You want to try and get a nice flowing continuous line. And working my way around. Okay. So again, if you want to mark your points, I think I'm going to go freehand this time. I want to create another one of these sort of shapes, but I'm going to come over here, turn it round, over here. Now I don't mind if it's not going to be even in the middle or straight or anything like that. It's nice to have a little bit of a different shape, isn't it? But if you want to, you can do that. Let's have a look at that. Here we go. And I'm going to do another one. So maybe let's have a look going this way this time. But I want it to go underneath there. So let's do that side as well. Underneath there. Turn it round. See, I want it to go underneath that one. There you go. I can bring those to meet. Turn it around again. And there. And of course, don't think you've got to turn it and draw it this way. I am left-handed, so I know I draw a little bit different. I'm going to put an aura inside there. Just sort of on the outer frame there. So you draw whichever way works for you. You always end up with a similar result, so not to worry at all. And again, see, just giving that a little bit of a framework there. Okay, so let's go a little bit larger with this. All right, so we'll look at this middle piece. Now again, I'm going to, because I've got this curve, I'm going to continue it this way and take it outwards. Turn it round. Continue this one outwards. Doesn't matter if they're not going to the middle or the corners or wherever. Just take it to wherever it's going to sort of land. There we are. And then this way, follow that one. So we've got that kind of shape going on. So I'm going to choose a side. I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to fill it with lines. Just keep them close together and following that shape. And then turn it again and fill it with lines. And just keep it going all the way till you run out of space there. And again, fill it with lines. It's a bit different, isn't it? And again, I'm going to fill that with lines. Sort of working my way in and out there. There we go. Okay, what about like these points then. Let's start with this bottom one, a bit bigger there. There we go. I'm going to start at the point and I'm going to bring it out to a loop. And then a loop on this side and one on this side. And then if you can, I'm going to fill in those little gaps there. I take my time, of course, because the gel pen's a bit different than the black. Okay, let's turn it round. You see, they don't quite match. It's fine, they don't join. That's it. Put a loop in and it'll finish that bit off. And then any of those little gaps, I'm going to fill with ink there. I'll turn it again. Around. And again. And again, just fill those gaps. Turn it around again. And one loop in the middle. And then I'm getting one either side. Okay, let's have a little look at that. There we go. And then this last one here, I'm going to start at this point here. Let's put a little sort of bubble in. I'm going to do that on all sides. So I've got the sort of shape of the bubble. So let's do them all while we've got that in mind. There we go. Okay. And then doing those little loops again, I'm going to start in the middle. And then I'm going to work my way around this shape, filling wherever I can as I go round. That's going to be quite a large one there, that's fine. And there. Again, I'm going to fill in any of those little gaps around the outside. See, that all feels really quiet now doing a Facebook Live after having a full class all weekend. Nobody to heckle me. Oh, but that's okay. At least we've got Wi-Fi. At least I've managed to get on here. So it's quite an experience. But we did have a great weekend. So there we are. See, filling in those gaps again. All around the edge. Of course, if you're using a black pen on a lighter tile, then you'll be doing exactly the same and filling it in with black ink. And the next one. And, loops. See, once you get into loops, they sort of flow. So you can sort of move from one to the other. And it feels like you're doing it quickly, but it just sort of gets that same motion going. So just fill in those little bits in there. Then on to the next one. This is quite a nice little shape in here, and I know some of you want to do it exactly sort of a rectangle or a square, but you know, sometimes come out your comfort zone a little bit and just sort of give it a go. Even if you redraw it and do another tile later, just try and let go a little bit. After all, it's only a tile. If you have fun drawing it and shading it and all the rest, it doesn't matter, does it? Look at that. All right. Okay, let's just pull it out a little bit. Okay, so our next little task then, if you want to, again, bring a pencil in, you can sort of mark the middles of each of these little curves. See, that's not in the middle, but I'm following this line. Only if you want to. And then working, not from that line, but maybe a bit further out, maybe about 1/2 centimetre-ish. There you go. I'm going to create another curve. There we go. I'm going to turn it again. And again, if you want to mark your space, again, just do a sort of a rough, dry run first. And then again, sort of a dry run, and then bring that curve in. And then another dry run first. Bring your curve in. Alright. And again, I think on the Yeah, on the inside of that, I'm going to create a very fine aura. There we are. Just working from one to the next. Just turn your tile as you're going. It just makes life more comfortable. And you're not trying to change the shape of that curve because your hand's in the same place. There we are. And the next one. It's working that one there. Okay. Let's have a look at that. Nice. Okay. What we're going to do with this in here then? Well, we can do a few different things. I think what I'm going to do is create sort of a bit of a zigzag. So I'm going to do it there with bubbles. So I'm going to start on this corner. Just put one on each corner because that's where we'd like to head. So imagine we're doing zigzag that way, zigzag that way. So maybe put one in the middle. Yeah. So then we need one here and one here. You see, I've got that zigzag. So then one here and one here. Sort of splitting our space up there. You see, zigzag. So let's do that again. So I'm going to need one here and one here. So you see, zigzag. And then one here and here. And again. So one there, one there. And then here we're going to go there and there. And it takes a little bit thinking about that. But, you know, if you sort of, again, pretend to draw it, you get the idea of it. Again, it's going to go there, look, and then there. Okay. So let's have a look at these little zigzag sort of shapes now. I'm going to create a little S between the two. So one there, let's see. And then I'm going to join this one this way. And then this one. And this one. So we're getting that sort of wavy kind of shape going on. And then this one. Start again, look. The S there. And there. Ignore those corners for a little minute. We'll sort them in a second. Let's get this shape going round first. And then that way. Next one. S again. And then this one. Just go around the bubble as well. Don't try and rush it and start from one end and work the other. You'll end up with a straighter line. We want to create those curvy S's if we can. There we go. To that one. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to start with this one here, I think. We'll worry about the corners in a minute. We'll do this one. What I'd like to do is create a little bit of a bump here. So I'm going to go a bit lower down to here. You see? Let's go a bit bigger. And same again. A little bit of a bump there, look. Into there. And another. And another. Okay. Let's do the next one. So from here, a little bit of a curve there, back to the S. So there's still sort of S's, but we're moving it along a little bit. Okay, so now we come to this one. So we'll do the same. We're going to follow that little shape and keep going back to that bubble. But we're going to work it all the way around. I'm just going to keep going. Keep bringing it back to that bubble. There we are. All the way around, see? There we go. So with this one, same as before, we're creating these little curves at the top there and taking it back to that bubble. And the next one. Again, this is a nice flowing movement and you get used to it really quickly. So the pen, well, as long as it's flowing, because we know sometimes these white pens don't, bear with it. Once you get it going, it's fine. You know, just slow down with it a little bit. Sometimes, you know, hold it upright rather than at a bit of an angle as well. That helps. And then the next one. Little bumps. It's almost there. There you go. On the next one. It's creating this wonderful sort of swirly design all around the outside here. And in with this one. This would look, oh, it'd be a really nice design outside the you know, around the outside of the clock face that we did at the weekend. If anybody wants to try it with something a bit different. That worked really well. Same with this one. You see, going around those corner pieces really sort of make it a different design, don't they? It just works. Alright, here's the last one. So follow it round. Just creating these little bubbles as we go. And see, just keep it going. Just work it round that shape. There we go. Let's have a look at this then. Okay, look at that, how different that made that look. It's lovely, isn't it? All right, one more curve. We're going to go, instead of doing this way, we're going to go this way. So again, if you want to sort of mark it out first, I'm going to sort of give it a little bit of a dry run and then draw it in. You see? And the same again, turning it round. Let's have a bit of a dry run and then in we go. And again. In we go. And again. One more look. In we go. Don't worry if they don't match, it's fine. Okay. So let's come up a little bit. So let's work on this outer shape here, this outer frame. So again, we've got a bit of a mark in the middle. So let's start there. I'm going to create a little curl that comes out. Try and touch both sides if you can, top and bottom. And the same on this side. All right, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same on all the sides now. So I'm going to move that along a bit. It's not quite in the, my mark's not quite where I wanted it. But there you go. And around. So into this one. And then this one. And again. Curl this way. Try and touch both sides if you can. Same this way. And then whilst I'm here, I'm going to sort of now take it from the other side. I'm going to create another curl this way. And then another one this way. You know, depending on how much space you've got, that might be enough. You see, I've got an extra little space there. So let's have that so it looks like it's going under there. And then I'm going to do similar on this side. So let's turn it round. And here we go again. So I started at the bottom. Now I'm going to start at the top here. Curl around. And a curl around. And then now start at the bottom. You see how that sort of goes underneath there? But this one. Yeah, it's going to do a similar thing. There you go. Turn it round. So again, started there at the bottom, we're now coming from the top and create a curl. Same this side. And then from the bottom, create a curl. That way. Now there, see I'm going to get still a little one, so I'm going to make it look like it's going underneath there. It's going to keep going. Next one. Started at the bottom, so we're going to start at the top, create a curl. Same on this side. Oh, that's it. Yeah, just checking. And then this way. And again, this way. Okay, let's have a look at that. All right, it's starting to get quite detailed now. So I think at this point we're going to stop and do a little bit of work on it. I'm going to bring in my metallic pencils. I've got two here. I've got a silver and like a gunmetal. You can do it with any colour pencils you like. It really doesn't matter. Or you can do it with your regular pencil if you want to. And of course we know that these aren't going to blend. So I'm going to use the darkest first. And on this little bit here that we've added no tangling to at all, I'm going to bring in that darker colour there. A little bit on each side. And then I'm going to overlay it with a bit of that silver, just to give me a little bit of a different sort of a colour there. Okay, so not too much. We're not going to get crazy with colouring. Just wanted a little bit in there. Again, I might go a little bit darker in that corner. Okay, so let's do the same with this one. Again, the darkest first. I'm going to add some in that corner. I'm not going to go over the white of the pen that I used. I want to try and keep that if I can. But a great thing, if you think, oh, I want a little bit more interest, before you shade it, you could actually go over this with coloured inks, and it'd colour the white pen, so you can get coloured ink. It might be kind of cool to do that actually. But, there we go. Just going to work that in a little bit more. Turn it round. Same again. So just a little bit of darkness in there. Really dark at the bottom. Same sort of on this side. There we go. And then a little bit here. So it's just a little bit different, adding silver rather than the white. We're going to add a little bit of white in a minute and you'll see the difference. Okay, turning it round once more, and there we go, a little bit of darkness in there. There you go, and then sort of the same here. See, I'm adding that silver in. Okay, I'll just bring that in a little bit. Okay, so yeah, if we wanted to just sort of change the colour a little bit, let's see what colours we've got. Got a bit of the purple, maybe. Yeah, let's have a look. Got a bit of blue, maybe. Oh, that could be quite nice. I've got a bit of dark blue there. Let's have a look what I've got. A second, I'm just going to get a little bit of a blender. There we go. So if I put a little bit of paper underneath there, just so I'm not going to get anything on the board. There we go. Just use a little bit of ink. See, a little bit of a blender there. So, and if I actually wanted to, if I go over that white, see if we just do it in the corners, you see I'm going to get a slightly different colour. Let me do it in the corners. So it's going to take that white back a little bit. But you don't have to, it's just sometimes it's nice, and I don't really show this on camera a lot, but there you go, a little bit of blue. So let's have a look at that. So you see the difference, where you've got a bit blue now over the top where it was white earlier? Okay, so let's bring in my white chalk pencil. Again, if you're working on a lighter tile, you might want to use your regular pencil to add a little bit of shading, but I'm going to use my sort of chalky pencil here. So first thing I'm going to do is in the middle here, I'm going to add some, let's go a bit bigger for you. There we go. Either side of these lines here. Okay, so I'm looking at the lines being sort of horizontal, and then I'm adding pencil either side. There we go. And then where we drew this original square, I'm going to come over and add some pencil around the outside of that as well. And same here. And then the same with this one. You see that one's just got that little bit sticking out there. Just picking out those shapes that we drew earlier. And there. And then of course we've got this one. So again, I'm working just outside that little aura. I'm not worrying too much about what's happening underneath and how many sort of tangles we're covering. We're going to blend this out a little bit. Okay, let's do this first and then we'll come back and do the rest. So I'm going to bring my torchon in. Yeah, it's got a bit of graphite on, but it'll be fine. Oh, I do have one a bit cleaner. Okay, very gentle. It's going to work in swirls, just swirls and lines, just to give me a little bit of shading either side there. Little bits on there. Just sort of work both sides. I know it's tempting to blow all that chalk dust away, but try not to do it until you've shaded everything. There you are, see? Working along there. Same on this one. And along here. I think I'm going to bring maybe my gunmetal-y pencil in there, I think, to add a little bit more definition in a little bit. Let's get these little bits done first. Alright. Okay, they don't need to move much. And then the same around here. Sort of get that a little bit of a swirl going on there and soften it round. Same on this one. And along there. And into this one. There we go. And this one. We'll have a look at it and then we'll add that metallic on and you'll see a bit of difference. Let's just blot those bits away. So there we go. We've got a little bit of shading going on there now, but it needs a bit more definition. You could come in with your regular pencil, but let's change it up a little bit. I'm going to bring in this metallic pencil and redefine those sort of original lines I put in there. I just sort of add a little bit of texture, okay? And the same round here, see, just sort of on the outside of that aura shape. Now, if you were trying to do this with pen, it would be a little bit trickier because the chalk doesn't like to work with the fine liners over the top. For pencils, not too bad at all. Same with these. I'm going to bring in those little bits. You see, just do that bit of pencil. Of course, you could do this with a coloured pencil if you wanted to. You don't have to just sort of keep it with the silvery colours. And again, just sort of working over the tops here of those. And again. Same on this one. There. And of course on this side. Let's have a look at the difference that's made. There we go. So you see now you've got a little bit of a definition between each one. So back to my chalky pencil. And what I'm going to do is work on this corner bit here. Okay, I'm going to be quite sort of heavy around that area, but I've not gone all the way around, just on those corner bits. And then just sort of a little bit along the middle of those. Just a little bit. I'm not going to overdo that. The main features in the middle. So, okay, torchy on again. And as before, we're just going to soften it out. We're going to work it all around. I just sort of want it more around this middle bit. You see where that's sort of going underneath there? You can just sort of peter it round. the bulk of it's there. And again, a little bit of a zigzag soften there. Same with this one, see? Round and round. This sort of helps sort of push it into the paper a little bit and round it off. There we go. And again, just a bit of a zigzag to smooth that off. And again, round we go. Sort of get it going and round, just pulling it a bit there. Bit of a zigzag. And then same as before, soften it off a little bit. But we want to keep that thick a bit, just in that area there. And a bit of a zigzag. Okay. So I'm going to come back in with that sort of gunmetal. There we go. And where the lines sort of go underneath here, I want to just bring those back. You see, just draw those in there. And then put myself a line over the top there. And same with this one, so I'm going to redraw those lines in there. One side then the other. And along we go. One side then the other. And then put this line back in. The last one, just redefining those lines there and bring it back round this little line here. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we go. I think I'm going to actually bring a bit of that dark also around that edge. That edge. Now again, you need to look at your tile. This is where you can decide whether you're going to add extra bits in or if you want to add a bit more. So you just want a little bit of darkness in places. I'm not going to redefine every area. I just want it to sort of focus on certain ones. If we kept redoing the same area all the time, you're not going to get the same effect. So I think just a little bit around this section as well. Not too much, I'm just sort of darkening it a little bit. And again, you could do this with a regular pencil. Let's have a look. Maybe just a touch around here, just on that middle section. There we go. And this one. Okay, I think actually I'm going to just put a little bit in that bubble there. You know, that middle little bit that we did? I don't really want to shade that. I want it to sort of just disappear in the background. I think the main feature is this little middle bit there. There we go. Okay, so for our today's tile, there we go. I think that is about it. Just filling those little bits in there. And I really do hope that when we do our next one on Friday, I can be back on my own Facebook page. That would be lovely. We'll watch this space. It's a very slow process getting it all sorted. So, alright, last thing to do, just a bit of a signature. And of course, never full, just initials are fine. And there we go. Number 237. So, have a little bit of fun with it. Please still keep posting. I'm sure you're all talking to each other. I do manage to have a glimpse at what's going on using John's page, John's Facebook. So, other than that, have a good one, and I will speak to you all again on Friday. All right, have fun with this one, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.